Hey friends, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I've done a challenge where I try to eat for $1 a day, and today I thought it would make it more interesting and more challenging by going to a market I've never been to before. It's definitely going to be harder to do, but I'll have a lot of fun exploring a new store, and I do kind of need a little adventure in my life right now, so I think that this will be fun. If you're just tuning in for the first time, let me tell you that in this challenge, I need to spend $1 and make 3 meals with my supplies, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'll be using pantry staples, which for this video is just going to amount to some dried spices and oil, but normally that includes any pantry staple you would find in a regular kitchen, such as vinegar, sugar, bouillon, etc. Today, I've selected a Hispanic market that's 15 minutes from my house. This is a store that one of my viewers told me about a while back, and it's been on my radar ever since, and this is Northgate Market. This is in Santa Ana, which is very close to where I live in Irvine, and this is in California. If you've never shopped at ethnic markets before, you're missing out because they have great deals. It can be a little intimidating because sometimes I see food and I have no idea what it is or how to use it, but I do always enjoy the experience. I did not expect to see bulk rice sold here, so that's a pleasant surprise. It's a great option to give me some variety. And I spotted this yucca, which I guess is pronounced yucca, and it had a really strange texture. I've never had this before, so that would be fun to try, but it's $1.29 a pound, so that's going to be out of my price range. They had a large variety of peppers, which I sometimes like to use for seasoning, but I think I'm going to pass on that this time and just focus on spending the bulk of my money on items that are going to fill me up. They had bulk corn, which I've never seen before. They had a white one and also a black one, and I'm pretty sure that this is hominy, although I've never seen it dry like that before. They had these beans, which translates to flower of May. Those are expensive at $1.69, but they have a beautiful magenta color. They also had these pumpkin seeds, and then some of you may recognize this right here from one of my other $1 a day challenges. Those were a fun discovery. I couldn't find my footage of this, but I found a picture. Basically, you just fry them until they puff up into this delightful snack that you can season with either lime or other flavors. They had these small bags of mini tomatillos, and since I love tomatillos, I'm curious about how different the smaller ones are. They also had these little fruits of the cactus that were not a bad price per pound and may fit into my budget if I could have found a small one, but I didn't figure it would fill me up too much, so I passed on that. But they did have the red kind and the green kind, and I'm actually wishing I would have purchased one of those for later just to see what they taste like, but I didn't. They also had these pasta sheets for $1.69 a pound, and I thought I could probably end up getting one of those in my budget. So I took one, and I have no idea how much this is going to cost. Some of the beans, like lentils and garbanzo beans, were more expensive here. I got a small amount of rice, but their scales were moving so little that I really couldn't tell how much I was spending. I think I'll just have to purchase these and then see where I'm at. And then I discovered the bulk beans that they sell the most of. They had Peruano beans, which are also called Mayacoba beans. I love those. They have a creamy, buttery flavor. They had pinto beans, which were the cheapest, and then they had these cranberry beans, which I thought were very interesting and beautiful in color as well. But ultimately, I decided to go with some pinto beans since I'm on a super tight budget. And I've been craving rice and tomatoes lately, so I picked up a small tomato. Out of curiosity, I checked out their chicken prices, and they had these leg quarters for 89 cents a pound, which I thought was a great deal. I guess I was too busy filming to pay attention to what I was doing, but I just got a thorn in my thumb, which in retrospect is kind of funny. I I explored the store a little bit and I was surprised at the large variety of bagged beans that they had. They also had the little pastas that I frequently use in the budget cooking. Theirs was a little bit more expensive, but they had a larger variety. They also had a hot food section that smelled amazing. I love the scent of tortillas cooking. I spotted some serving pieces on an end cap, so I looked through these. I've been trying to find some nice enchilada platters for a while now, and I haven't been able to find them anywhere. I already have this double salsa container. I don't think I've shown it to you guys yet or served anything in it. I also like this blue and white dish, but I didn't get it because I'm trying to save money. Plus, I have a tiny kitchen, so I don't have a lot of storage. However, that is a really cute design, and I'm kind of wishing I would have picked that up. Then I found this other stuff on an end cap, and I'm not even sure what some of these items are for. I think that this is for beans, and I would love to have that, but I didn't get it either. I'm wondering if this is for mashing beans. They also had some cute baskets. I had a lot of fun exploring this store, and this made for some cheap entertainment, but now I'll check out and see how much money I've spent so far. My total at this point was 72 cents, so I went back in and grabbed a super small amount of the black corn, and it was only 5 cents. So at this point, I've spent 77 cents. On the way here, I passed another market called El Super, which is only a couple blocks from here, and I did a quick Google search and discovered they had green beans on sale for 99 cents a pound. So I thought I would stop by there and pick up some of those, and the parking lot was so crowded by this point that I could barely find a spot. While I was there, I saw these garbanzo beans, and honestly, I didn't even know what these were. I've never seen fresh garbanzo beans before, so I thought that was interesting. The only way I knew what they were is by the label. Also, I noticed that they had white rice much cheaper than the other store, and they had the nopales cactus leaves on sale for 67 cents. So I thought I'd go ahead and get a small one, and that came up to 12 cents. So now I've spent a total of 89 cents. I'm going to show you what I have in mind for my supplies, but first I'm going to grab an iced matcha latte. My brother sent me a Starbucks gift card for my birthday, and today is a perfect day for one of these. So I'm actually somewhat new to drinking matchas because I've avoided Starbucks for what seems like years just to save money. So I'm sure that most of my viewers know about this already, but for those that don't, matcha is a tea that grows in Japan, and it has a very earthy flavor. I get mine with oat milk, but it's one of those drinks that you either really like or you really don't, because it definitely has a green flavor, but it's a flavor that I really love. For my supplies, I'm thinking about doing some kind of rice mixture with tomatoes. For some reason, I've been kind of craving that lately. And then with this sheet of pasta, I thought I would boil this and then cut it into 2 pieces and then kind of stack it and make it like a Mexican style lasagna with the beans and a few tomatoes and maybe the cactus and corn. I'm thinking I'll have enough beans to maybe do some kind of a salad with it for a third meal, or maybe something else, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to prepare the cactus first. We don't have many overcast days here in Southern California, but today it has been overcast and it's been much cooler than it has been lately. So I'm hoping the weather's going to be the same tomorrow when I cook. I have 11 cents left, and Wholesome Choice, the Persian market, is just a few doors down from the Starbucks. That's the store that I shop at quite frequently. So I'm going to run in there and grab whatever's on sale, and I spotted green beans on sale, so I picked up a few of these and they were 12 cents. So I'm a penny over. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove 1 bean from my supplies. Sometimes when I do these challenges, I don't think it looks like there's going to be enough food, but this time I feel like it looks like there's a lot of food here for $1. The first thing I want to do is boil my beans, and I just did these on top of the stove, and I was actually kind of surprised how quickly they cooked, and I guess that's because I'm usually using my crock pot. They didn't make a lot, but it's definitely enough to be filling for 2 meals. And I did save the broth just in case I need it. I don't think I'm gonna, but just in case, it's nice to have. And this is where I discovered one of the mistakes I made today. I didn't know this, but hominy has to soak, and it takes a long time to boil it, unless of course you have an instant pot, which I don't. So I guess I just wasted 5 cents on that. So now it's time to prepare my cactus leaf. I have to admit, the idea of eating cactus doesn't sound particularly appetizing to me, but I've never had it before, so I'm gonna give it a fair shot. I'll start by cutting off the bottom part and then the edges. I had to watch some videos about this, and I quickly realized that everyone has their own favorite method of doing this. I tried scraping, I tried going against the grain of the stickers, and then I went with the grain of the stickers, and I actually think that worked best, but I kind of used all of the techniques. And I didn't mention it earlier, but in the second store I was in, I saw this guy, and he was handling all of these cactus leaves with his bare hands like such a boss. Not sure how he was doing that, but I was impressed. When I looked this up, I read that it has a taste that's a cross between asparagus, green beans, and okra. It has a slimy texture that you have to cook down, and then the sliminess goes away. I've had this on my food bucket list for a while now, so I'm looking forward to trying this. I've almost never met a vegetable I didn't like, so I'm not sure why this would be any different. You can buy these leaves with the thorns removed, and you can also buy these pre-packaged where they're already diced up, but of course I'm sure that costs more. This is a very satisfying thing to do, and it feels kind of therapeutic. This is eaten in a variety of ways, like in salads and tacos with eggs, but I saw this video where this girl made a sandwich with it and she used the leaves in place of bread. But I was thinking about maybe cutting out 2 of these small circles and then making some kind of appetizer looking entree with some beans on top and then tomatoes, and maybe just dicing up the remainder of this to go in some rice. Some people like to cook this with water, but I watched a chef make this and he said that his favorite way to get the slime off is to cook it in a small amount of oil. So that's what I'm going to do. I do tend to like to cook my vegetables without water when possible. And a lot of people add in onions to help flavor it. Obviously, I don't have onions as part of that budget, but I can add in some onion powder, and I'm doing that towards the end of cooking, just so that it doesn't start to burn on the bottom of the pan. And I can already tell that there is no more slime on this, so I guess that's good. For my first recipe, I'm going to use about 1/3 of this tomato, and I'm just going to dice it up and cook this along with some rice and some of my favorite seasonings. I added a small amount of water to the pan just to make sure I can get all of my seasonings properly blended. My rice was slightly dry, which was the perfect consistency for refrying. and I have a small amount of rice left over for another meal. This rice was seasoned to perfection. It was so delicious. There is no reason for anyone to ever buy prepackaged seasoned rice. It's just so easy to make. I started by trying a bite without the cactus first to see how that was, and then I tried it with the cactus, and oh my gosh, this is probably gonna be my all-time favorite way to eat this. And I know that's a bold statement to make since it's the only way I've had it so far, but it's acidic and it's slightly tangy, but not so tangy as like a tomatillo would be. It's more nuanced. It's very slight and it goes perfect with the tomatoes and against the richness of the spicy rice. This was so good. I was wishing I would have cooked the rest of the rice because when I was done with this, I wanted more. And maybe it's also because I've been eating a lot of salads and sandwiches lately, but today was cooler, so this hot food tasted really good to me. I can see why nopales with eggs is popular because again, it's about that balance, and I've always enjoyed eggs with something acidic alongside them. All right, let's talk about my second mistake of the day, which is actually kind of comical. When I saw this, I was looking at this as pasta because technically that's what it is. I was not looking at this as duros or doritos or chicharrones, which is what this is, where you fry it and it puffs up. So anyhow, I think I could still use it as pasta, but I'm gonna switch gears and fry this up and use it like a tostado shell. This is why Google time is so important before I start cooking. I tried a little bite of this and it was really good. You could also season this if you want to, but I think I'm just going to eat it with a little salt. And I'm going to make some refried beans with about half of the beans. If you've ever made refried beans at home before, but they didn't have a beautiful color like they do in the canned version, it's probably because you're not adding chili powder to them. And by chili powder, I mean the powder of chilies, not necessarily the American chili powder blends that we have, because those typically have other spices added, although they work as well. I'm going to go ahead and add some water just to thin this out. I also like to add some Spanish paprika just because it gives it a little of a smoky flavor, and it's a milder version of a chili. Wow, this is really good. Surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be. First of all, those refried beans are delicious. They're better than normal. Again, I think it's because I'm doing this challenge, or maybe because I'm just wanting the hot food, but they are delicious. And the shell is crispy, but where the bean part is, it's a little bit softer and almost kind of chewy when you bite into it. I think this would be excellent with a little bit of hot sauce over the top. And I would love to try this with lettuce and sour cream and avocados. It was super filling, and the shell was only 8 cents. So I would definitely use this in place of a tortilla shell again. Next time I want to try microwaving this for a healthier option. I read that you can make them like that, but it's not quite as good. This is a meal that you could feed your family for less than $1 if you have a market like this where you can buy custom portions. These are the ingredients that I had left over. Originally, I thought I might make a bean salad, which would be especially great with the cactus and the green beans and the tomatoes. However, my beans are kind of soft, and now that I think about it, I've never really seen a pinto bean salad. And that's probably because they have a very thin skin, and that's not the best application for them. So I think I'll do something different. I'm just going to go ahead and fry up my green beans, and then I'll make some more refried beans and then just throw everything together at the end. I liked the rice so much that I repeated the version I made from breakfast. I like the nopales cactus in my last dish. I forgot to mention that. However, I did like it better in the rice, and since I didn't have much rice, I put the refried beans in the bottom of this bowl, and then I stacked the rice on top, kind of like a mini casserole. Originally, I had 2 of the cactus coins, but I ended up chopping one of them into the rice because I wanted more, and then I didn't show it, but I stacked one of the coins on top of the tomato and then just put a little refried beans on top of that. And I started by trying these green beans, and they were delicious. I don't always let myself use the garlic salt because I'm trying to limit my sodium, but this was really good. As far as the cactus concoction goes, it was okay. I probably wouldn't make it again. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just not something that was my favorite. But the rice, I would make that any day of the week. You could add in, a sausage, a smoked sausage, some chicken. You could pretty much add anything to that rice and make it a one-pot dish. It was that good. And I would definitely make the green beans again, but I already knew I like green beans like that. This was filling. I thought I had plenty of food today with this $1, and even though I had some losses today with some mistakes that I made, I mean, it's to be expected when you're trying to explore new foods and new cultures that you really know nothing about. I'm really excited about discovering that cactus, and I'm looking forward to trying it in tacos now, even though tacos are one of my favorite foods, and I'm really not sure I have enough heart space for another version of tacos. However, can somebody have too many tacos? I don't think they can. Although every kind of taco that you eat is completely different. For example, a ground beef taco tastes nothing like a chicken taco, which tastes nothing like a refried bean taco. So all of those, it's like when you're in a different kind of a mood, that's when you want each one of those kind of tacos. So I'm thinking it's going to be the same thing with the cactus tacos. Anyway, friends, thank you so much for spending time with me today and going on my mini adventure. I hope you'll consider doing this in your own life because it's a lot of fun and you never know what kind of deliciousness you'll discover. And of course, if you do, please let me know about it. Please make sure that your notifications tab is turned on so that you're notified when I release a new video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.